Okay, welcome back, and welcome our next guests, next partners with new interesting presentations. I will first introduce Mr. Ognjen Kuljača, Brodarski Institute, Croatia, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then we have project Acelmet, Kristina Obar, Technology Park Ljubljana, Slovenia. For cluster 4, we have project Urban Empathy, Aleš Podgornik and Polona Lah, Josef Stefan Institute. And we have project Philoxenia Plus, Darko Ferče e Zavod Slovenija. We will start with, as I mentioned, cluster 3, Innovation, and Creative Met and Ognjen from Brodarski Institute that comes from. This is another capitalization project focusing on the development of a framework for bottom-up smart specialization based on culture anchoring, open network organization, innovation mixes, collective learning, and shared values. We will find out about centers of competence installed in Croatia. Please.
Thank you. The project started in July last year and is going to be finished this year. It has partners from 11 countries: Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Greece, and Cyprus. And the idea is to integrate outcomes from 5 main projects which proved to be successful in the past. And of course to support operational definitions of smart specialization S3 strategies, and to try to mobilize local stakeholders implementation alliances. So, let's move on to the next one. So I'm not going too many details. The project so far prepared the green paper, which is going to finish as a white paper as a, let's say, policy recommendations for different regions in the Mediterranean area. But it was found out that innovation should be territorial based. It should have enough big dynamics and factors, and should use territorial capital in order to keep the nature as much as possible intact, to use the local knowledge of the people, and to have the development which will be in line with the traditions in the Mediterranean area. So, one of helices as usual. We have that stuff all over the place. So, it's pretty much the same picture as before. Although the main thing is we need community scale partnerships, because in the Mediterranean area it's very often the case that people don't not react just because don't have the, let's say, enough belief in the local governments. So they have to be involved from the beginning. So please let's move on to the next one. So what we tried to do in the Croatia, the Green Book was translated and presented, and together with our local specialist partner, we tried to work with the Ministry of Economy of Republic of Croatia, which is in charge of smart specialization policies, to organize a set of meetings with possible partners. And participants were from the institutes, government, bigger companies, universities, and especially SMEs. Can you move on the next one, please? So the initial meeting was held in Dubrovnik in April, and the whole idea was to start organizing so-called Center of Competences, which would push innovation through putting together universities, institutes, local government, and SMEs, because the previous approach with, let's say, doing the things only from the university-based technology center just didn't work, because nothing actually moved to the general population, let's say. And there was about 50 people there. The theme sustainable energy was held in Zagreb on May 5th. Engineering as part of specializations on May 7th. So there was one series of these meetings go week by week. Let's move to the next one, please. Priority biotechnology were held in the city of Zagreb. We showed that on the map. Later, health, again in city of Rijeka, and the tourism in the end as a part of development in city of Bale in Istria. So here you can see on the map where meetings were held. So apart from the eastern part of the country, it's kind of, we tried to cover the country to have some local, let's say local development, because it was easier for people to travel than for everybody to go to the capital of Zagreb. And after the meetings, let's please go on to the next one. Basically what came out, this is translated for Ministry of Economy, the four, let's say, main topics of interest in development in Croatia should be health, sustainable energy and environment, safety, food and bioeconomy, and transport and mobility. If you saw the shape of the country, I mean, it's pretty clear why the transport and mobility is a very big problem. And so-called horizontal sectors were defined as tourism, creative and cultural industry, ICT and engineering. And this came out as a result of actually having conversations with the stakeholders. So people can change and say, look, we think this should be done. We have this problem in our community. I don't know, we are organization of the small hotel innkeepers. We need help to move us toward health tourism or something like that. So it has kind of tried to do some bottom-up approach. It's hard to do it with government, especially on the state level, but it worked so far a little bit. So all these meetings were followed up by a series of workshops, which are still underway in all of these areas, going on almost every 2 weeks, where the government representatives come there and they talk with the people who, let's say, already proposed some of these center of competencies. Now discussion is on what would be the way in which call for proposals will be dished out, what would be the rules, how would these center of competence be organized, because if you don't talk with the people who are supposed to do that, especially in the industry, then you run into danger of actually putting something up which looks very nice on the paper, but actually cannot be realized. It's too complicated, or it missed completely, I mean, the point. So far, it works, I would say, decent, could be better. First proposal expected in early 2015, although the problem in Croatia is that operational plan is still up for the public discussion. Smart specialization strategies are not finished, so I think there will be somewhere later in the spring. But at least something is going on kind of on the line of our, let's say, project, because we figured out you have to push up people a little bit, because if you're getting 50 pages of green paper, nobody's going to read it. So I have to go there and kind of stuff it down their throat. So we tried it, for now it works. So here is the information for Creative Med in Croatia. And the last slide, please move on more, was there's the information on the website of our project leader. So thank you very much for your attention. So that was pretty much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ognen. Just maybe, if you allow me, one small tiny question before we move on. It is like you've described, your project has started in July.
In July.
This year, yeah?
Last year.
Last year. So it's too early to say already about some concrete results. You have described the workshops you've organized, the meetings that took place and everything. If I know that many of your results will be on, let's say, mental level changing of perceptions and so on, but is there something that you would like to tell us? Look, this is what we've done.
Okay, so what I'm saying is the idea is to develop, let's say, the cookbook for the project, and all this should be done basically in the end, in December, together with the indicators, small database, but they couldn't wait. So with this series of meetings, we actually pulled the shipyards, the industry, the wood makers, the people to go and talk with the government and tell them, look, this is what we need. This is what we should do.
So you are just before the final push?
Yeah, just before the final push. What I'm saying is it is not a research project in the such, but it's aimed to actually establish the environment for research. And I mean it because I'm an engineer, so I'm usually on the other side, the guy who has to do the work. So I like to have some, some say in actually doing the policy, so I can do my work after that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ognjan. Thanks for that. Our next project under cluster innovation, right, will be project Acelmed. With us is Kristina Ober, Technology Park Ljubljana, Slovenia, as I said before. And the project ACELMED is to accelerate the growth of MED SMEs through the transnational support service to improve access to finance, to international markets, and to specific advice to growth. Kristina Ober will introduce the concrete activities and concrete results.
Sure, thank you. We are here to present our project ACELMED and the concrete result. We are only going to focus on one aspect, and that is to present the soft landing, business landing in Mediterranean. 5 countries with 6 partners based on our experience in business support services. We have gathered and decided to capitalize our activities in previous projects to implement various tools for acceleration of Mediterranean SMEs. What we have seen that we are lacking support for SMEs in order to land in foreign countries and go further beyond their borders. Therefore, we have set a concrete result, which is soft landing, business landing in Mediterranean. And it has three crucial beneficiaries. The territory, Mediterranean area, which will benefit definitely from going abroad, opening new companies and internationalize companies in the Mediterranean. Then, of course, institutions which are working and joining us, because we are offering a portfolio of services that are offered to SMEs landing in our countries. Therefore, we are broadening our portfolio, and additionally, we have also multiplier effect. So other organizations can join us, and we also can collaborate on other issues that we think are important for boosting the economy. And additionally, the end users, there are the enterprises, SMEs, that can save money and time when they are reaching us in order to check the market and try to land in our countries. And of course, we have stressed additionally a security check and control check of our services so that we can provide the best service for our SMEs landing in Mediterranean. Therefore, I will let you to the video, which explains a little bit about our services and network that we have established in the project.
Besides its cultural and historical legacy, the Mediterranean area offers great opportunities for startups and companies. With large urban poles, an international gateway for maritime trade, a strong tourism economic sector, and many natural and cultural resources, the Mediterranean regions also have skilled labor force and young people with a high educational level. With the aim of supporting SMEs who wish to set up in the Mediterranean area, a partnership made up of 6 Mediterranean territories is creating a portfolio of cross-landing services. This video will show the services in the different territories. Barcelona, with a metropolitan region of 5 million inhabitants, is the capital of Catalonia, which accounts for 20% of Spanish GDP. It is a logistics platform to access the European, Asian, and Latin American markets. The main economic sectors are IT, mobile, media, design, fashion, biotech, electric mobility, tourism, and logistics. Overview of main strategic sectors in Barcelona and connection with institutional players. Free business location service to search for a suitable space. Also, portfolio of facilities including rental soft landing office space, a business incubator, and a technological park. Free online business incorporation service in 24 hours to set up a limited liability company in Spain. Support with all related procedures. Search and screening of CVs, rental spaces for undertaking job interviews, and training activities on professional skills. Free advisory service to identify suitable banking, public, and private funding sources. Also, technical support to apply for specific financial products. connection with providers of reference in different specialized fields, information about visas and work permits, technical support to apply for the new investor, and entrepreneur immigration fast tracks. Aix-Marseille-Provence is the third urban concentration in France, with a population of 1.9 million inhabitants. Its most important sectors are biotechnology, optics, aeronautics, and the digital industry. Free service providing a market overview of priority sectors, preparation of agendas with the main players of the sector. Free assessment through private partners on legal issues to set up a business, and for free assistance on statutes and incorporation procedures. Free information and coordination of location offers and organization of visiting agendas for company and priority sectors. Support to spread job offers through regional channels. Search for specific incentives and financing solutions for priority sectors, as well as business plan review and technical support for funding application. Contact with financial institutions and venture capital funds through round tables. Access to the network of Partners of Provence promotion. Assistance with business documents for visa applications. Support to find accommodation and school enrollment. Milan is the capital of the Lombardy region, with a population of 10 million inhabitants. It is the second region in Europe in terms of GDP and one of the 4 European economic engines. The most important sectors are the chemical industry and life science, ICT and media, design and fashion, finance and engineering. Free tailored market and sector analysis, as well as data to write the business plan, preparation of agendas in the territory. Free provision of an established local network that guides the investors throughout the whole startup process to handle incorporation procedures. Free desks for up to 3 months for landing companies in specific strategic sectors, information for the selection of a suitable location, and assistance during the location assignment. Assistance in choosing the recruitment channels and contact with public and private specialized recruitment bodies. Training courses covering all the subjects related to Italian fiscal and legal context. Research into available funding incentives and link with credit institutions and financial entities. Direct access to private providers that work closely with foreign investors. Help with document drafting and bureaucratic procedures to obtain permits, visas, and authorizations. Assistance in finding company target for mergers and acquisitions and joint venture. Bologna is the capital of the Emilia-Romagna region, which counts on a population of 4.2 million inhabitants. Its main economic sectors are the automotive, food industry, mechatronic, machining and tools, and biomedical equipment. Market overview, contacts with institutional stakeholders and company visits, free tailor-made agendas with members of business and technology networks. Soft landing office space at facilities of partner incubators. Specialized support service, free of cost, to search for industrial and R&D profiles. Funding diagnosis to start a company or develop R&D activities. Investment readiness checkup and business plan advisory service to access banking and private funding. Direct access to qualified consultants. Intellectual property rights service research catalogue with information about industrial research resources and infrastructures. Ljubljana is the capital of Slovenia, a country with 2 million inhabitants situated on the intersection of several of Europe's historical crossroads, thus a door to Eastern Europe. The main economic sectors are automotive, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology, construction and civil engineering, information technologies, and logistics. Free market overview, general business assessment and preparation of institutional agendas, payment services for specific business intelligence, and contacts in the ICT sector. 1 week temporary soft landing office space free of cost. Business spaces for rent at Technology Park Ljubljana, information about industrial sites and preparation of visiting agendas. Specific information service about the labor market for companies in the ICT sector. Payment support service to prepare funding applications, pitching training, contacts with the venture capital ecosystem. Subsidized apartment accommodation in Ljubljana. Athens is the capital of the Attica region. With 3.8 million inhabitants, it is the most populated region in Greece and producer of 45% of its national GDP. The most important sectors are tourism, financial and business services, and port-related activities. Free economic overview and preparation of meetings with institutional stakeholders. Additional payment services for customized business intelligence, business agendas, market prospection, and business plan assessment. 1 week temporary soft landing office space free of cost. Business spaces for rent at Lavrion Technological Park. Free assessment on legal possibilities to set up. Additional payment services for the business registration and for technical assistance to comply with regulations. Information about incentives and funding programs, facilitation of contact with banks and VCs, additional payment service for technical support for funding applications, free travel logistics support during the prospection phase, and payment translation services. Do you want to join?
And nevertheless, that this was the concrete result of our project, we have another additional concrete, even concreter result. This is the first business lending practice. We have had a Greek entrepreneur, a director of ICT company from Athens in Ljubljana, joining the program, and he was well satisfied with our services that we have provided during the project, and now he is considering setting up a company in Slovenia. So we are hoping that we are going to enlarge our network of organizations and more entrepreneurs to come.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christina. Now I will ask Tarja again for concluding sentences. Two very different projects from what we have seen before noon. Probably less easy to describe, to summarize, but I'm sure you can do something very interesting out of this.
Well, I'm here for work. Well, yes, this is about the innovation axis or innovation approach in our program, which was working altogether in a very different way as some other themes, as energy efficiency theme, for instance, because we had a very big bottom-up response to innovation activities. This accompanying of SMEs working for different aspects of innovation, be it process-oriented, be it product-oriented, be it service-oriented, innovation in a large scale approach. And we got a very big response to this. We programmed practically all our budget to the bottom-up projects working on this type of services and innovative aspects to help the SMEs. And actually not to lose the result, to precisely bring the result to something that can be transferred, can be more visible, can be used as a model. We launched capitalization projects on the results of this first big critical mass of innovation projects. And for instance, for the example of Creative Med, it's a very good example, I think, of, on the level of one of the partners of this project, how the bottom-up approach is able in this capitalization project to impact the national level smart specialization strategy, how it's providing a direct link. And this is a good example, concrete example of what we call mainstreaming. And for the AxelMed project, this is really clear that we need different types of services. And by the way, this is one of the big targets for us for the next program, that we need internationalization practices for SMEs, for clusters in the Mediterranean. But the next time I hear from AxelMed project or any other of these capitalization projects, I would love to hear also about the end users, because the service looks fine, but then we also need the information of who's using it to go further on in the transfer next time.
Thank you so much, Daria. Now, Magali also asked me to warn you not to remember there are 3 interesting brochures that you can get on the table later on. They are interesting. I read them over the weekend. So, natural patrimony, protecting the Mediterranean. You have energy efficiency in the Mediterranean, and you have cultural and creative industries. So let's not forget about them. Now, the 4th cluster that we will discuss now, and we will see the projects presented, is called the governance. This is something we are all very interested in. As you know, we had the 2nd round of local elections in Slovenia yesterday with some interesting results. Now we have 2 projects. I have told you a little bit about them already. Urban Empathy aims at consolidating a permanent structure, the existing CAT-MED platform for sustainable urban models, bringing together projects, policymakers, stakeholders to share concrete results to improve the efficiency of sustainable urban policies in the Mediterranean, ensuring their consideration in future programming periods. It is time to learn more about this big word, capitalization. A video will help us to find out more, and then after we will learn more about how the process helped on local level.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
please.
I'm Aleš Podgornik from Jožef Stefan Institute, and me and my colleague Polona Lah will shortly describe what we are doing, what we are aiming at. We are now moving into the area that Ms. Richards has spoken about a few times, capitalization projects. So, Urban Empathy is a capitalization project dealing with sustainable urban policies with the aim of, as you mentioned, bringing together different ETC project results, policymakers, decision makers, and other stakeholders like energy agencies and others to improve the efficiency of sustainable urban policies in the Med space and to ensure their consideration in the next programming period. This is also quite important in our view. And to reach this, we follow the same concept. It's so-called urban model. It's the part of CAT-MED platform you mentioned. And it also deals with strong political commitment and also it focus on the permanent structure for the future. This is also quite important. So next slide, please. So we have 13 different projects from ETC and 15 results involved in this capitalization process. But to be on the same note, what is capitalization? This is the big question now.
Okay, before going to the video, maybe just a short introduction. As Aleš mentioned, Urban Empathy is a capitalization project, and we are capitalizing results. And before going to the video, I would like to raise a question. What exactly is the capitalization? We heard, especially in the mid area, within the mid project, I'm sure that everyone who is involved in the project heard about it. They have to capitalize the work that they are doing. They have to capitalize the results. So when I first questioned myself what I'm supposed to do with the results that I'm producing, and I was faced with the word capitalize, It happened 1 year ago. It was in a kickoff meeting of the Urban Empathy Project where I met an MED officer who I knew from before, and she knew that I was involved in other MED projects as well. And I came to her and I said hello, and then she asked me if I'm capitalizing here in the kickoff meeting other projects, and I said, if I'm doing what? She said yes. I said that no, I'm not, because yeah, no. And then she said, well, you should be doing this. And I was a little bit embarrassed because I didn't know what was I supposed to do by saying that I should be capitalizing the results. And then my task, my energy and my focus was what exactly is the capitalization. And I spent at least half a year not working specially on discovering what the capitalization is, but time to time I turned to this issue. And I realized after half of a year of work what the capitalization is. My first act was to go to the Google, and I was Googling it. And I was not quite satisfied with the output because it was saying that the capitalization is to put something into capital. So, wow, yeah, okay, yeah. That's clear, but wow, what's that? Okay, we identified several things because how to actually put results into practice, there are several ways and they differ from project to project. There is no unique definition or unique approach how to end the results and then put them into practice. So we create, within the Urban Empathy Project, we as well create a video which explains more about the capitalization. So Kirill, please could you roll up the video and you will see our discoverings.
Capitalization. To obtain additional results through benchmarking and detailed content analysis. The amounts and types of long-term financing used by a firm. The production of new knowledge, building on existing knowledge and experience. Okay, let's see it in a practical example. 80% of people in Europe live in cities, which are mostly growing following the sprawl urban model. Monofunctional cities with low densities and high energy consumption levels. These cities are key actors when talking about climate change effects and have a strong need of an effective territorial management. Somewhere in the Mediterranean, someone is thinking on how to compact these cities, how to stimulate social and territorial cohesion, how to promote, through an integrated approach, a city with high population density per hectare and a high building compactness, complexity of uses and functions, and walking scale access to main services and facilities needed daily. But they understood it wasn't anything new. Someone had already developed that urban model. Even in other parts of the world, this model was followed. So they decided to work with others who were doing things right in the present. Concrete expertise was identified through successful projects to adapt this model by improving each of the elements of the integrated approach and make it useful for decision makers. Everyone involved knew that successful results can end up in a forgotten box if politicians are not interested. Through the capitalization of that knowledge, a parallel work was being made with decision makers in each participating country, finding out what they needed, how they needed it, and why they still didn't have it. Involving decision makers could help transforming results into policies. Oh, it's true, the financing. This was born in the European Territorial Cooperation Framework, although there is not enough money there to implement those results. But there are other funds that could follow up and help their implementation, but they don't even know our results exist. Welcome to Urban Empathy, the capitalization process of the CatMed platform for sustainable urban models.
Okay, thank you. So the video says a lot in a very short time. And as you can see, there are many ways how to capitalize. I think only 3 were mentioned in the video. But the approach of the Urban Empathy project was that within the project, we produce new knowledge, building on existing knowledge and experience. It means that we actually took out 15 results of, I think, 13 projects, and we upgraded the results into a new model, into a new knowledge. So Aleš will now say a little bit more just about the model, and then we will conclude about the Urban Empathy project.
Okay, no, it's not about the model, it's about the tool for the decision makers. So one of the visible results of Urban Empathy will be at the end of November when the project finishes, is adapting those deliverables of those 13 projects to decision makers' needs. This is done through the analysis of the expectations of the key decision makers. This is this lady that was sitting on the sofa. And to make this ETC program results available through some web tool. This is just an overview how it will look when it's finished. But the search query is based on this analysis of the answers produced by those decision makers, what they really want and what they need. So they can search by those queries, not just we need some project that's dealing with traffic. It's too broad. They need to know, is it transferable? How was the result implemented already outside of the project? Questions like that. So the query of the results will be based on that, and this will be available as a web tool. So this is just one of the, let's say, visible results of this project. So this is for now. And
okay, thank you, Urban Empathy team. We have another governance project. It is called Philoxenia Plus. What is my name doing in the middle of it? My name? Yeah.
The word philoxenia.
It's nice. It's nice Greek name, Xenia. I know, but
Yeah.
why is this Philoxenia?
Actually, the name means welcome, like welcome
Okay.
hosting policy. Welcome
Okay.
in Greek.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, I will tell 2 sentences about the project before I leave the podium to you. The project focus lays on new and innovative attractiveness policies of rural populations to maintain and promote the endogenous resources of the territory. Philoxenia aims to capitalize on such welcome and attractiveness policies and to promote social and territorial cohesion, often unbalanced between the areas of the Mediterranean coast and hinterland areas. Darko Fercei will illustrate the impact of this project. Here you go.
Thank you very much. I see that I'm very sorry now because I will eat some of your next session, which is at lunch. But I would like to show you something which was not shown in this session until now, and this is the end users approach or end users view on the project. Project Philoxenia Plus is actually the project about rural areas. We saw, the partners saw that rural areas are emptying, so the people are moving to the cities. And that brings problems in the rural areas as well as also in the cities. As we also saw before, the cities has some environmental problems, they have also health problems. And we like to actually to develop policies how to bring people back to the rural areas. And based on this idea, we developed the first project, which was a classic project, Philoxenia. And after this project, which was quite successful, we submitted also the capitalization project, which is Philoxenia Plus. And for the beginning, we could watch the video which was shot in between of two projects. This video was not shot by us, but it was shot by Interreg program, who was searching for good practice projects. So Kirill, please. Philoxenia project is about developing rural areas and about migration of people from urban areas back to rural areas.
Philoxenia en grec, et selon la mythologie grecque, ça veut dire un bon accueil. Zeus, qui était le dieu des dieux, parlait de l'hospitalité. Et compte tenu que le projet Philoxenia s'est basé sur les politiques d'accueil en milieu rural, donc on a trouvé ces mots de l'Antiquité grecque pour nommer le projet.
I'm an architect. I studied in England. This is where I'm coming from, is my village called Anoporogia. I grew up here. After my studies, I decided to come back to my country and start my own business. Having grown up in the village here, I knew all the difficulties that people have growing up here. So I wanted to maintain the features, the old features of traditional architecture of Anoporogia, which is traditional Macedonian architecture.
On a accordé d'abord aux bénéficiaires un conseil individualisé gratuit que nous pensons était de l'ordre de 4 500 €. Mais à côté de ça, on a accordé une aide financière de l'ordre de 4 500 € également, ce qui a aidé aux bénéficiaires de couvrir une partie de leurs frais de démarrage de leur petit projet.
Ukvarjam se s steklarstvom, sicer največ moja prvotna dejavnost je okvirjanje slik, diplom, priznanj, vsega, kar se da okviriti. Tudi graviram na steklo, izdelujem vitraže, pa izdelke iz stekla. Sicer izobraževal sem se za steklarja v Rogaški Slatini. Tam sem zaključil 3-letno poklicno izobraževanje za stavbnega steklarja.
The Philoxenia project have been various types of entrepreneurs, but mainly they work alone, so they have simple, small crafts, basically doing from picture frames till car sales to tire sales. Some of them are cutting hairs, some of them are selling different products.
Ceci, d'abord, stoppe l'érosion démographique qui existe en général dans les zones rurales, et ensuite fait augmenter la population, renforce l'économie locale, ça contribue à la transformation de l'économie locale, ça donne l'occasion aux personnes qui veulent vivre et travailler à la campagne de mener une vie beaucoup plus relaxe que dans les villes urbaines.
My business since 2009 continued growing. This was the first project I did, and then it continued with the second one, and now we are in the third one.
According to analysis, this methodology is very good because for each euro spent, you get 5 euros back to the state, which is, I think, very good added value. And if you're talking to fighting economic and financial crisis, a project like this could be one good solution for it.
Z Francozi dobil sem kontakte od Francozov in so želeli poslovno sodelovati, celo povabili so me, da bi lahko tam delal v Franciji, ampak dejansko se mi zdi, da je boljše, da ostanem doma, pa razširim svoje podjetje.
So based on this project, Philoxenia, we then searched for similar best practices or good practices in Europe. The common thing was that we searched for policies which try to bring people back to the country. In Philoxenia project, for example, we helped 90 persons to establish their business in rural areas, but the catch was that they had to move from urban area back to rural area. Within these 7 different policies, we then focused on 4. One was Philoxenia, the other one is One Village, One Product, and the third one is Soho Solo. They are from different parts of Europe. And actually, within the project, we did methodology, like a common methodology for welcoming policies, and also we did action plans for each region separately. After the 2 years, which is also maybe interested, is that we were also asking ourselves what was the impact of the first project, so of the Philoxenia project. And we try to calculate actually the benefit, the financial benefit of the public sector that they have it. Because now we all know that we are in financial and economic crisis, and we were asking ourselves how the project can contribute. And we did several different scenarios, and actually in the best scenario, for each euro spent for the project, the public sector gets 5 euros back in the 7 years time. We also did some other scenarios which are maybe more real, but actually in the worst scenario, in 7 years, it was about 2 euros that comes back to the state. And if you also take into the consideration that, for example, costs of the employees are actually quite high taxed, I think that the real figure is about 3 euros coming back for each euro spent into this Philoxenia project.
Thank you very much, Darko. Now we are running slightly late for our next, but no problem, yeah. I will ask Tarja, how did our partners do on governance cluster? And also I'll ask you for the general conclusions of this first session.
Okay, thank you. I think our governance capitalization projects really made the point. Because from the program point of view, this is really a concrete illustration of use of results, capitalization, mainstreaming. Now we covered 2 aspects of territorial governance here. We covered urban planning and rural policies. And from the program point of view, it was happening more or less like in innovation axis. So we had a lot of bottom-up response for the governance, such as Philoxenia, such as CatMed project, which was one of the origins of urban empathy capitalization project later on. And these were working on these policy responses, these territorial policy responses. And it was vital to mix them again, their results, and bring up capitalization projects that are really doing this on a bigger scale. I think when we are offering policy models or tools for decision makers, this is not something I invented. The lead partner of Urban Empathy made the point in one of our events. She said, who can use the results, when are they needed, and which resources are needed so that they can be used. It's not just about providing a result. It's about connecting this to the decision makers, who can use it, with what resources, and when do they need it? Because if it's ready now and they need it 5 years after, it's too late. It's all this connectivity and also the difficulty in capitalizing results and really bringing them to larger use and further use is that very few decision makers, I think, ask the question, did somebody already do this somewhere? So that's the challenge.
Okay, lovely, because I just wanted to ask you for your conclusions, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I just wanted to make three general statements, and I would like to thank you all very much for this illustration of concrete examples, which is always good to hear. Just three general reflections. I don't need to convince this audience that cooperation is essential, but it's true that sometimes we need to convince other stakeholders, other actors that it's essential. And we have seen this morning that, issues where the cooperation is by nature essential, and it can only be done like this, like obviously for the environment or the risks management, for example. But it's also true that a lot of challenges cannot be tackled, cannot be seized if it's not in cooperation. No? And I'm speaking here about the innovation or research or that such type of issues. So this was one point I wanted to make. The second point is that, as Tarja said, I think this is the key challenge, to make the connection between the project and the policy and the project. So both ways are important and need to speak to each other. No? We need to make sure that this is going in both directions. That there is this connection between those levels. And then finally, this coordination, this sharing of results can only lead to greater impact. And this, I think, is the direction where we should go. So all this to say that any move towards a more strategic approach is what we should aim to. And so I'm looking forward to the discussions also in the afternoon with this connection towards the future, which is not the future anymore, it's the current programming period. So looking forward to it. And thank you very much again.
Anna, since the Commission always points out concrete and visible results, is this it? Are you happy with what you have seen today?
Yeah, as I said, it's true that for us it's also essential and very important to see that, that there are concrete examples, tangible results that are, as Tarja said, everything is important. So the connection to the local level is important, but also this bigger picture is important. So we need to combine both aspects of this.
Thank you so much, both, for the analysis. Now, Magali, if you allow us, we move to our next session, lunch. And I'm not going to introduce anything from the menu, so we'll see you back in about an hour. Yeah? Thank you so much.